Fire Princess Lily here with another Transgirl CNC where we talk about comics, cartoons, and other awesome nerd shit. So, last week I said I didn't know what we would be talking about, and it was pretty much true until today when I was making a t-shirt purchase online that I was like, oh, we should totally talk about this. I love this thing. I don't know why we haven't talked about it before. Why haven't we talked about the Radioactive Spider-Gwen? I don't know, I just had a lot of things to talk about, but 25 issues later, we are finally going to sit down and have a talk about Gwen Stacy as a Spider-Woman. But before we get to that, let's take a look at our Things You Might Have Missed segment. These are, of course, things, comics, cartoons, animes, mangas that I'm enjoying, that I think you could still enjoy, even if you haven't taken a look at them before, you thought they just weren't for you. I think you can still like them. And this week, it's another anime. It's another anime. This anime is also found on Crunchyroll or any other anime streaming website that you frequent. It's called New Game. It's another slice of life anime because for some reason I really enjoy those. Like, they're just cute, they're fun, and this one is no exception. It's the story of a girl fresh out of high school getting her first job as a game designer for a company. More importantly, she is working on the sequel game for the game that got her into character design in the first place. The cast of characters are cute and fun and vibrant, and their interactions make the show just that much fun, just that much more fun to watch, I guess is what I'm saying. And you're gonna have to deal with the train. I do apologize for that. This is like the 5th recording, so that's where we're at. But New Game, check it out, is on Crunchyroll. Any other streaming websites you might go to, they probably have it. Characters are cute, the story is fun, and every episode makes you just excited to see what's going to happen next, how they're going to interact next. It's great. But let's get into our main topic this week. That's right, the Radioactive Spider-Gwen. Let me tell you a little bit about how she came to be, why she came to be, or, you know, why she has her own book at the very least. It's so cool. So, Spider-Gwen, and I talked about this a little bit in the Gwenpool video, is Gwen Stacy. Where Gwenpool is not Gwen Stacy, Spider-Gwen is. She is the Spider-Woman of Earth 65. She was bitten by the spider instead of Peter, and that's why she has her powers. She has basically Peter's powers, just, you know, in her own thing, her own suit. I believe Peter made the web cartridges for Spider-Woman at Gwen's request. He didn't know that she was Spider-Woman, which plays a big part into her whole entire backstory. Now, she first was introduced in the pages of Spider-Verse, which was a big event where multiple spider people from across different Earths came together to fight a common foe that was hunting them down for their powers. Gwen's story, like I mentioned, is she has been bitten by the spider instead of Peter. Now, what that means is that Peter still has all his problems to deal with, including bullies, and they're really relentless with him in Universe 65. So relentless that he sees the Spider-Woman and he wants to be just like her. He wants, you know, power, to stand for himself, to be special, to not be pathetic Parker. And so, with the help of Dr. Connors, he creates the Lizard Serum and becomes Universe 65's Lizard. And of course, it's not a very stable virus or serum, and so he goes crazy at a school dance, I believe it's prom, and Spider-Woman shows up to take care of it, and she does everything that Spider-Woman would do. She taunts him, she, you know, beats him up, she, like, makes a fool out of him, and of course, what she doesn't realize is that the serum is killing the lizard, or Peter, who she doesn't even know it's Peter, and he's dying. And so his system starts shutting down, transforms back to Peter, and she's like, oh my god, it's Peter, and she's holding him, and he, like, the last thing he says is, like, I didn't want to be a monster, I just wanted to be special like you. And then he dies in her arms, and that's why she can't hang around any other Spider-Men. No Peters. She can't hang around Peters. Like it was a theme in Spider-Verse that you would only really hang around with like Peter Porker because he was the only one who did not remind her of who she had lost. And so when she gets back from Spider-Verse, it's all over the news that Peter Parker's dead and that Spider-Woman was carrying him and she must have killed him. And that's her origin. That's her origin right there. Is just she's on the run from the cops for a crime she didn't commit, a murder she didn't commit, because Peter had kind of killed himself with this unstable serum. And so she's working really hard to clear her name. Of course, her father is still a cop, and she lets him in on the secret that, she's not guilty. She's a Spider-Woman. She would never have hurt Peter like that. Peter was actually the Lizard, and she was just trying to defend people, and it went horribly wrong. And so he muddies up his career and his name to try to prove her innocence. And so it's just like one compounding thing on top of another for Gwen's guilt. She's like, Peter died because of me. My father is his career's on the ropes because of me, because he feels like he has to look out for me, and I don't know what to do. Meanwhile, she's like skipping band practices with her friends. She's like, it's this whole thing. And she, like, I'm trying, like, to give you more of the broad strokes because I think that you should read this. But like I said, we are 25 issues in. We just started Gwenom, part 1 with this last issue. So, I mean, check this out. Pick this up. This is a great book. She loses her powers. It turns out Universe 65 is really different from Universe 616. Jessica Drew is Jackson Drew or something like that. It's a guy. Jessica Drew, the Spider-Woman of Earth 616, is a man in Universe 65, and he's the Spider-Man. He's empowered by little capsules which were created by Universe 65's Cindy Moon. And she's like this super evil villain, which is a big deal if you know who Cindy Moon is in Universe 616. And she's responsible for everything. For Connors making the serum with Peter, for Gwen having her powers in the first place. And she takes away Gwen's powers. And so that's a really important plot point, because it's how she gets tangled up with Matthew Murdock. Now, I know everybody likes Matthew. He's a really upstanding guy, the Daredevil. But in Universe 65, he is the Kingpin. He is still blind, still a ninja, but he's an evil ninja. He's in charge of the hand and everything. Like, he is just an underworld crime boss, and he's like, here, you're going to work for me. I'm going to keep your dad out of prison, and here are all these power-ups. You just do what I say, when I say to do it. If I say jump, you say how high. I'm your boss. I'm the bad guy. And she agrees to it because, one, she loves her father. She wants to keep him protected. And two, even though it's caused her a ton of problems and everything, even though she's been hunted by the police and hounded, and she has all this guilt over Peter's death, she still likes being the Spider-Woman. She still likes being special. And I think that's one of the reasons I really enjoy this book, and one of the reasons I enjoy Spider-Man to begin with, or just any kind of Spider People stories. They all have a very human quality about them. They're all, at their cores, very, very human. Like, yes, they have fantastic powers, but at the end of the day, they have these very human emotions and reasons driving them for what they do. And I just really respect that. Now, the Gwenom storyline just started, and it's so far has taken off. It's really great. I really like it. I like the costume design the most, if I have to be honest. It's like the coolest Venom costume that you've ever seen, and believe me, I've seen a lot of them. It's really great. I like the artwork of this story, of this book. It's really great. It's both vibrant and gritty. The colors are muted in places, and then really pop the next the next panel, and it's really great. Like, everything about this book, from the storytelling to the art to the characters, is just top-notch, totally the best that Marvel has done in a long time. So, well, not a long time, but just like, it's quality work, and I enjoy it. What I really like about Universe 616 too is kind of like how the artwork is muted in places and then vibrant in the next places. Universe 65 is both more serious and more dark than Universe 616 is, but it's also sometimes way more humorous and funny. Like, one of Gwen's biggest villains, or like most recurring villains, is the Bodega Bandit, and all he does is like run into like the convenience stores and like take food and stuff. He's a homeless dude. Gwen doesn't beat him up. She just like gives him a lecture, like, hey, you know, you need to take better care of yourself. Don't eat hot dogs all the time. Wolverine, Logan, he's not called Wolverine in Universe 65. He's called the Immortal Mr. Murder Hands. Like, that's like the best name for Logan ever, because it's apt as hell. And like, there's just like little nods to how this is still the Marvel Universe, but it's also vastly different. And it's just, it's real good. So I would suggest picking this up. Read it in trade paperbacks. Read it on Comixology if you need to. I'm not sponsored by them. Really wish I was, because I'm like pimping them every episode, it seems like. Or, you know, hunt down each issue. Read it that way if you need to. It's great. Now, there are 5 issues from before they smashed all the different Earths together, all the different universes together. But it's 5 issues. And they recapped them extremely well within the first issue of this, so what are you going to do? So that is it for this week. Tune in next week when we're going to talk about something new. We're going to talk about X-Men Gold and X-Men Blue, and how there's going to be another X-Men title with another color coming out within a couple months. And so enjoy that and stay tuned for that. And until next time, enjoy comics, enjoy cartoons, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.